Hey everyone, it's Kenjay. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about my coming out story. It is Pride Month, so I thought it would be a great opportunity to share with you my story, and hopefully it'll be able to be relatable with some of you guys who watch this video. So before I get into it, let's go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also follow me on my socials at Simply Kenjay. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright you guys, so coming out for me was probably the most scary experience of my life. And just to give you a background of my parents, my dad is African American, he is a Christian, and he was in the military. So my life growing up was very sheltered, and it was very regimented and very strict. So I felt very sheltered growing up. And my mom, she's Catholic, she's Filipino. So their different beliefs on gay culture, really they did not agree with. So I was already working with that. Also, I came out in the summer of 2008, so that was in the era of when being gay was still not a thing. It was a slow transition of people coming out. It was the It Gets Better project that came out because of the gay suicides that were happening. So I remember just being on YouTube and looking at different people and their experiences of coming out, and it really helped me to find confidence in coming out for myself. The main reason why I had to come out was because there was somebody who was going to blackmail me, and I did not want them to take that power away from me, because I felt that if they heard it from someone else, that they would be even more upset. So I was like, I would rather I take my power back and come out to my parents myself, so that this person doesn't steal that power away from me. So, watching those YouTube videos really helped me find the confidence. I was mostly afraid of being kicked out because my dad is so religious, and he was super strict with me and my sister growing up. And I was just afraid of just being tossed out and not even being thought of or being loved. Because, me being gay. So like I said, I came out the summer of 2008. It was literally maybe 3 weeks before I was going to college. I was like, this is the great opportunity, I might as well. Because, going off to college, I was gonna live my life regardless. So everyone was gonna know I was gay anyway. So I tried to develop the confidence to tell my dad first. And I could not do it. I was literally shaking, I was sweating. I couldn't bring up the words to tell my dad because I didn't know what his reaction was going to be. So I was literally standing in my kitchen, my dad is in the den, and I'm like, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do this? I'm so afraid, what's he gonna do? He's gonna hit me. I was freaking out. So I ended up not being able to verbally tell my dad. I had to literally go back to my room, and I did what I knew best, and I used to write in my journal a lot. So I ended up writing a letter of me coming out instead, because I felt I was able to get everything that I wanted off my chest. And I wanted to explain to them that I'm still the same person, that I haven't changed, and it's just I'm gay. There's nothing new except for me being gay that you guys didn't know. So I ended up writing a 4-page letter, and I remember that I had to work that day. So I ended up writing that letter right before work, and I remember taking that letter and I placed it on my parents' bed, hoping that they would look at it or read it while I'm at work. And I left it there. I went to work. I was freaking out the entire shift, and my coworkers were like, you're gonna be fine, your parents love you, blah blah blah. And I was like, I don't know, you guys, I'm freaking out. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna say. So I finished work and I was on my way home, like praying to God, like, God, I pray that it goes out, this goes fine, that they're okay, and that we can talk about it, whatever. So I get home and like, I like don't hear like anything from my parents about like reading the letter. So I'm like, I wonder why they aren't talking to me about this letter. So I ended up going to my parents' room to see if they even like saw it, and turns out that the letter ended up on the ground. I think because like the fan was on in my parents' room. So I was like, oh my gosh. So my dad was doing laundry that night, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this letter, I'm gonna put it on their pillow and make sure that it stays there. And I'm gonna say my goodnights right now. I'm gonna go to sleep, and by the morning, I know that they're gonna see the letter. I wake up the next day because it's a Sunday morning. My dad wakes us up in the mornings for Sunday school. So he wakes me up and he's like, so we got your letter. We'll talk about it as a family later. I was like, oh my gosh. So I ended up the entire Sunday just like, praying to God, like, God, please let this turn out right. Like, I pray that, you know, this is not gonna be like a really bad meeting. And like, I was still freaking out. So I remember us having a family meeting. It was on a Monday night. I got off of work that night, and we all ended up in the living room, and I don't remember much from the conversation that we had. I just remember my dad like wondering like, why? Like, who else knows? Are you sure that you're gay? He's like, we love you, but we don't support this lifestyle. Obviously because my dad is Christian, my mom's Catholic, and so my mom was freaking out. She was crying. She thought that I wanted to transition to be a woman because that's what a lot of the gay guys, I guess, in the Philippines, from what she knows, would do. Like, no, Mom, I don't want to transition. I like being a guy. I don't want to go that route. That's not what that is. My dad was just really not happy about it. There's like, why didn't you come to us before? Like, if you're able to tell your friends, how come you didn't tell us? And I was like, well, because I was afraid to be kicked out, to be honest. And he said, I would never kick you out. Like, that's something that my dad said that he vowed to himself that he would never kick out his kids because he was kicked out as a child. And he was like, you always have a home here. We love you, but we just don't support this lifestyle. And so I somehow agreed to talk to my pastor about me being gay, because I don't know, I was a people pleaser. I wanted to, you know, make my parents proud. I always wanted to do what was right. So I agreed to go talk to my pastor about me being gay. And so it was like maybe a week after I'd come out that I talked to him. And I remember being in the pastor's office, and he was just saying like, if you go down this route, you're not gonna be successful. Anything that you do is gonna turn out negatively. And I remember sitting in that chair, I was like, you're supposed to be someone that's supposed to be positive and like, you know, being uplifting, and then you're telling me all these negative things that if I choose this lifestyle, which is not a lifestyle, it's part of who I am, that everything is gonna go wrong, that's gonna go negatively, and that's gonna go downhill. I literally took everything that he said, it went into one ear and it went out the other, and I was like, you know what? I lied to my dad and said, you know, I'll try to not be gay, but I remember just like totally ignoring what the pastor said, going off to college and literally living my best life. It was literally freshman year of college was my favorite, you know, memory that I had. So I lived my best life my first year of college, and I was open and I was proud, and I still had on my Facebook and in my MySpace that I was gay. And so my dad, you know, obviously was doing some research of his own, of like, for me to see if like I'm really, you know, taking this to heart. and he had driven down at the end of my freshman year to, you know, bring me the car that I was going to be driving for the rest of my college years. And he's like, well, I noticed on your MySpace that you still say that you're gay. And I was like, I am, and it's not a phase. This is, you know, part of who I am. Like, it's not gonna change. Like, you either take it or leave it. Like, this is who I am. And my dad was not happy, like, not at all. I think for a couple years, like, my dad was just very upset, very angry. I remember me and my dad having a like verbal like altercation when I was back visiting my parents during like a summer break, and I literally was like, I'm leaving back to Miami now. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. And I remember just leaving the next day, and then my dad like calling me and apologizing for like his outburst. But like, it's taken some time for me and my dad to kind of reconcile our differences. To this day, my dad is still not okay with me being gay. We had like a family heart-to-heart last year, which was very emotional for me. But my dad is a lot more open to hearing more about my life, a lot more open. Even if I'm in a relationship with a guy, he wants to know those things because he doesn't want to be a part. He doesn't want to be away from my life, so he wants me to share those things even though he doesn't want to hear them. My mom, she was somewhat okay at first. I think over the years, she just like, I just want my son to be happy. And, you know, at first she was very hysterical about it, but I think I'm her son, I'm like a mama's boy to her. And she just wanted me to be happy. And so if I were to ever bring someone home, I know that it's gonna be difficult for them, but they're gonna, you know, respect this person, and that they're gonna, you know who this person is, because like, this is someone that, you know, I'm gonna genuinely care about and I want to spend my life with. So I've never brought anybody home. I have not yet met someone who is worthy to meet my parents or even to take home yet. So that's something that I'm looking forward to, because I'm sure that experience is gonna be, oh my gosh, it's gonna be somewhat of a good experience. Good, bad, I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting experience, let's just say that. But the moral of the story is that I had to come out when I wasn't ready. I am so happy that I did come out that summer, because it allowed me to be who I am. It allowed me to truly be my authentic self, and that's something that you can only experience unless you're able to be open with who you are. If there's someone who's out there who wants to out you, to take that power away from you, I would say find the courage within yourself to take your power back, because no one should ever out you. And like, if they do, like, shame on them, honestly, because that is something that you should be able to share when you're ready. And if someone's still in the closet and I meet them, I was like, you know, like, it's not my business to be like, you need to come out, you need to tell your parents. Like, no, like, they're gonna tell them when the time is right and when they feel comfortable. Because coming out is really hard, it's very emotional, and you don't know how your family is gonna react. I didn't know how my family was gonna react, and I thought the worst, to be honest. But I hope that this story encourages you. I hope it wasn't all over the place. I felt like it kind of was, but whatever. But I just know that coming out was the best decision of my life. I know people to this day who are still in the closet that can't live their most authentic life yet, because they still fear what their family thinks. And to be honest, you know, I know how that feels. And even if they don't come out, you know, it's their life to live and it's their decision. But coming out will definitely lift so much off your shoulders. Believe me, it really will. And living your best authentic life is like the thing that honestly has been the most freeing ever. So if that's anything that you could take from my story, I'm giving it to you. So if you like this video, go ahead, like I said, like it down below, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on my socials at Simply Kenjay. And until next time, you guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.